Okay, YouTube, welcome back. Today I'm going to be discussing a product that Steve Street 01 sent me. These are gas checks that are made with the Freechex II system. I have the accompanying letter here that Steve wrote me, talking about some of the specifics, and I just want to highlight a few things from this letter very quickly here. But as you can see, there's the various materials that these gas checks are made from, okay? Let's see, here's what you will find in the bags. 7 thousandths thick brass, 10 thousandths thick brass, 12 thousandths thick brass, 9 thousandths aluminum, 15 thousandths aluminum, 2-ply soda cans, okay? Basically what we're just going to do real quick, I am back to using the CyberShot, so I know the video quality may not be stellar. We're going to go through and we're going to try to seat one of these gas checks on the bullet and see how well they seat. And then what I'll go ahead and do is go ahead and seat them in a casing and see if we bulge the neck. So let's move on. Okay, the first check that we're going to attempt to seat is the Copenhagen lid. Okay. We're using just the standard Lee sizing die. We're sizing from 311 down to 309, and we're going to attempt to set the check on there. Alright, we're going to move right along. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. That's my email ringtone, by the way. Alright, anyway, this is the 9 thousandths thick aluminum, okay? Alright, moving right along. Alright, that was the 9 thousandths thick aluminum. Here's the 7 thousandths thick brass gas check. Alright, let's see if it seats. Alright, we got our first one that came out of the top there. The Copenhagen check appears to have seated tightly. Alright, so that's a successful one. Alright, let's see. Alright, here's one that's a little bit thicker. This one's 12 thousandths of an inch thick. Alright, we're going to go ahead and move right along. Seat this one. Alright, and then of course at the top of the die we have our, okay, yeah, the 9 thousandths aluminum did not seat, fell right off, okay? Moving right along. We have a 2-ply soda can gas check here, which I'm assuming is what this device is designed to make, okay? So we're going to seat this, and let's see what this does for us here. Okay, the brass gas check appears to have deformed. Okay. Alright. I push a couple more bullets through. The 12 thousandths thick brass disc, it's seated but it's a little loose. Okay. Alright, let me get this last one out here and see if we had any luck. The 2-ply soda can appears to have seated just fine. However, I want to note that the base of the bullet is kind of jagged. It seems like that would affect accuracy adversely. So, give me a second to, I'm going to change the camera angle and show you how these came out. Alright YouTube, here's our finished product. This one right here that deformed, that is the 15 thousandths of an inch thick brass gas check. And as you can see, it just falls right off. So I'm assuming that's probably going to end up being something that can't work with. The one you see here, this is the 2-ply soda can, And you're probably not going to be able to tell. I am using the CyberShot, so I have difficulty zooming in. Let me see if I can just grab it here and put it a little closer to the camera perhaps, or at least turn it. As you can see, the base is sort of jagged. However, the Freechex II system is designed to use soda cans, so it does what it says it's going to do. So that's your 2-ply soda can, and by the way, that material is 15 thousandths of an inch thick. And of course we have the Copenhagen lid, which it seated just fine, and it's nice and tight. I'm curious to see how well that particular check is going to work. The Copenhagen lids, or the Copenhagen checks, I believe are 9 thousandths of an inch thick, so they're a little on the thinner side. Pretty tight fit though. So we're going to be going to the range and shooting some of these and seeing, you know, what the difference is, if we get any leading, how fast we can push them. This one is a 9 thousandths of an inch thick brass gas check. It's seated nice and tight. I'm real curious to see how well these bullets shoot. We're going to be shooting some of these through SKS, K31. We're going to push them pretty quick, so we'll see. Now, this is the only gas check that you didn't see me seat because I already seated a whole batch of them. But this is the aluminum, just straight aluminum strips that are 15 thousandths of an inch thick. They seated wonderfully. In fact, I've got a whole bunch of them right here. Let me just grab a few. And these bullets are already lubed and ready to load up. The bases are nice and round, and everything's good. I think I've got enough time on this video left over. I'm going to go ahead and seat a dummy round in one of these 7.62 by 39s here, and we'll see if it bulges the neck. So let me switch camera angles. We're going to do that. Alright, we're going to take some simple measurements here. The first one, we're going to see what the base of this bullet measures at with the gas check installed, because it's going to give us an idea of how much we could expect to expand the neck. Alright, it's at 311. Now I want to note that I used a 311 diameter expander ball on these 7.62 by 39s, so we shouldn't bulge the neck, but to be safe, or sure, I'm going to go ahead and take just a outside dimension measurement of the neck itself. Alright, we're at 332. So keep that measurement in your mind. We're going to see if we bulge the neck at all when we seat the bullet. Now I expect it to bulge maybe a smidgen, maybe a thousandth. Now remember that neck dimension that we had from before, the outside dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and seat this cast bullet very gently. Okay. We have very minimal amount of lead shavings, but no more than, you know, the type of shavings that you might get with, say, a jacketed bullet. You know, that does happen. You'll get some copper shavings. It's perfectly acceptable. So let's check the outside dimensions here and see if we bulged it. Alright. Alright, what did I say? 1,000ths? So the next thing to check would make sure this is within magazine length restrictions, you know, overall length, all that good stuff. But these little suckers here should do a very nice job of, you know, should be a good little plinking load. So we're going to find out. We're going to shoot some of these. And also, while I've got it out, here's one that I seated for the K31. I made an overall length gauge. And you can see the indentations left on the painted bullet from the rifling. But we're going to try some of these 160 grain Lee cast bullets with the Freechex installed. We're going to see how they do. I know this video's been just maybe a little boring, but this is one of those subjects that is sort of dry. So hope you enjoyed this, and we're going to go out and shoot some of these. And also special thanks to Steve Street 01 for contributing these checks for me to review for him.